What's up YouTube, this is Eric here guys with the TRD squad, bringing you guys my version of Ancient Warrior slash tri-brigade. This is a super fun deck, honestly. It can easily OTK your opponent with under 4 summons, so you play under Nibiru. A lot of people don't ever see like the OTK potential in this deck. And honestly, this deck was never really played too much even when it did come out, so people really still don't know what these cards can do. But yeah, super fun deck to play with. I've had these cards for a while. And funny story, when I started sleeving up these cards to make this video, I actually had to still pull these cards out of the original packaging they came into when I ordered them. They were still in bubble wrap. So yeah, had these cards for a while, never played them. I finally decided just to play them now. I got kind of bored of playing True Draco, so I had to switch it up here. Yeah, right. Starts playing Ancient Warrior Tri-Brigade, and honestly, super fun deck. I'm glad I did start playing with it because its OTK potential is just so huge. I think this deck has a lot of potential. It can either go second or go first. This is my going second variant, but here maybe next week if I have some time, I'm gonna showcase to you guys my going first variant as well. Yeah, my going first variant can actually set up at least 4 to 5 good interruptions, just depending on what you draw. Other than that though, this deck is super fun to play with. But anyways guys, without further ado, let's get into this deck profile. To kind of start things off, we're running 3 copies of the Masterful Sun Moon. Here, this is one of your starter cards. You really want to see this card in your opening hand. He's also easily searchable with Fire Formation to Tinky, so technically you're playing 6 copies. But what this card can do is that you can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and you can add 1 Ancient Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. So it has a really cool search effect. Also has a cool secondary effect where if you activate an Ancient Warrior monster's effect, you can bounce 1 face-up card your opponent controls back to their hand. So a really cool card here. Has really 2 cool effects. The one thing I really don't like about the Ancient Warrior monsters is that they all have different attributes. So it's kind of it's kind of hard to get into your double dragon launch, but not too hard. But you know, that's the reason why we play the tri-brigade cards here. But yeah, one of the drawbacks to these the Ancient Warrior monsters is that they all have different attributes. We're also playing 3 copies of the Rebellious Lu Feng. Since we're playing a more heavy Ancient Warrior deck here, yeah, 3 copies is necessary. This card is super good. It's an easy special summon once per turn. Its effect reads that if you control an Ancient Warrior monster with the highest attack on the field, you can special summon out this card from your hand, right? So you get that free easy special summon. Also, quick effect once per turn during the main phase only. You can destroy one of your opponent's monsters with the highest attack. If 2 monsters are tied with the highest attack, you just simply choose 1. And this card has 2 major drawbacks, and they're really big drawbacks honestly as well. That's why I've had to play my deck a little bit more differently. But yeah, if you activate Lu Feng's effect to pop 1 card on the field, you can't activate any more monster effects except for Ancient Warrior monsters effects. So that's one of the drawbacks there. Then also during either player's end phase, if Lu Feng isn't the monster with the highest attack, or if it's tied with another monster on the field, you have to give this card control, or you have to give this card over to your opponent. Your opponent controls it. So those are 2 major drawbacks. Other than that, like I said, you can usually OTK your opponent, so you don't have to worry about Lu Feng. And if he does stay on field for turn 2, just make sure that he has the highest attack on the field at that time. 2 copies of the Virtuous Lu Zuan. This card's super good here. I've recently cut it down to just 1 copy because playing online, I'm playing a lot of Sky Striker and Salad, so they don't always make a lot of monsters. And so, anyways, what this card does is that if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then special summon out 1 Ancient Warrior monster from your deck. So his effect comes in clutch because you can usually just use Lu Zuan to get Sun Mu to search another card. When you're playing Sky Strikers and all you have is this card in hand, it's not that good because once you summon him out, you control the exact same number of monsters they do if they just have 1. So yeah, so very recently I've been cutting him out to just 1 copy, and I've actually been playing the Barrier Statue Stormwinds here because sometimes I am forced to go first. So Stormwinds comes in clutch. Also, if I can't OTK my opponent, I can usually just make Stormwinds here by going into the lane 3 Samord. So yeah, I've actually decided to cut this card out to just 1, but it's up to you. If you're playing at your locals and you know there's a lot of big monster heavy decks out there, then Lu Zuan, it's the right card for you. If not, just easily cut that card out. We're also playing 2 copies of Zukong. This card is really cool here because he's an easy special summon. Right, if you search this card with an Ancient Warrior monster effect, you can special summon him out from the hand. And then if you control a continuous spell that's Ancient Warrior, you can send it to the graveyard to negate one of your opponent's spell or trap effects. Now, if you have Virtuous, Lu Zuan, and Zukong on the field, then Zukong also gains the effect where he can negate a monster effect. But it's kind of situational there, right? Other than that, though, pretty good card. He's also a wind attribute, so we play him mainly just to go into our double Dragon Lords. But other than that, though, yeah, still a good card. You want to play him as a 2-up because, like I said, he's easily searchable, easily summonable. So overall, really good card. Also level 4 here, so you can make rank 4 plays as well. For other Ancient Warrior cards, we're playing 3 copies of Loyal Guan Yu. Sorry about that, hit the desk here. This card is really, really good. He's basically like a Pranker Tops, where if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon out this card. Now, what's really cool about this card is that his special summon effect is not a hard once per turn, and it's not a once per turn effect either. You can just simply keep doing it. So this card can easily out Appaloosa like super easy. That's one of the cool things about him. I always catch people off guard playing online, like I effect special summon, negate Appaloosa, I go effect special summon, then negate Appaloosa, I'm gonna use Appaloosa to negate again. Now I activate it one more time, my point's like, oh wait, hold on, you've already activated that multiple times. Like, no, it's like his effect is not a once per turn, I can just keep doing it over and over. So yeah, really good card here. A high attack too, 2500 attack. Once per turn, it's not a quick effect though, but you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. But mainly one of the reasons why I do play this card is because it gives your other cards protection. What it says is that your opponent cannot target other Ancient Warrior monsters you control with card effects. That's honestly a really good effect there. When it gives my cards protection, it allows me to combo through, allows me to get more monsters on the field so I can OTK my opponent. And then yeah, with a high like 2500 attack, this card, I mean, you can easily OTK your opponent here. I'm going to showcase you guys a couple of combos at the end of the video, how easily you can OTK your opponent, or how easily you can also just clear out fields. The last Ancient Warrior card here is Valiant Zhengde. This card is really, really good. If you control 2 Ancient Warrior monsters, you can special summon out from your hand. Also, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters per turn. And then this card also gains 300 attack for every monster that your opponent controls. So yeah, he can get really beefy really fast if you're playing like a super heavy monster deck like Dragon Link, for example, right? If you can bring this card out and your opponent still has like 3 or 4 monsters on field, this card gets really big really quick. For our tri-brigade engine, we're not running like the full tri-brigade cards. We're like running like the max copies of each because this is more of an Ancient Warrior deck here. But anyways, 3 copies of Fractal because he's a Beast Warrior. You can easily allow you to make double Dragon Lords as well. 2 copies of Karis. I'm not going to go over these cards' effects because you've probably seen them enough online or at your locals. The 1 copy of Kit and then the 2 Nerval there. And that's really all you really need. Like if you don't want to play the Stormwinds here, and you do want to drop the copy of Lu Zuan. Like I told you before, Lu Zuan's just not too good in this format. You can drop Lu Zuan and maybe play 2 copies of Kid or another copy of Nerval. It's up to you. For our spell cards, 3 copies of the 3 Visits here. This is the only Ancient Warrior spell or trap card that we play. Honestly, in my opinion, it's the only good one. I know a lot of people play like the, was it East by South Winds? I don't really like that card at all because you got to flip a coin and then rely on that flip. But yeah, this card is really good. If you have this card in your field and you normal or special summon an Ancient Warrior monster, you get to add 1 Ancient Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon out 1 Ancient Warrior monster from your hand. So yeah, 2 really cool effects, right? You can search a card, you can like search Zukong, special summon it. Send this card to, if you send this card to the graveyard, special summon another Ancient Warrior monster from your deck. That's already like 3 cards on the field. And you got Lu Feng, bring him out to the field. That's 4 cards, right? That's one of the ways you OTK here. But yeah, really good card. You gotta play this card as a 3F, and like I said, in my opinion, this is the only good Ancient Warrior spell or trap card that we have. 3 copies of Tenki because it searches out 2 of your Ancient Warrior monsters plus Fractal. Since we're going second, 3 copies of Dark Lord No More. If you can't, like, I mean, this card, like I said, I'm running 2 Secrets in a common here, so this card is somewhat affordable. Now I know like the common is like $5. I don't like paying $5 for commons, honestly. I actually got this in a structure deck, but yeah, like it's still a really good card and it's still a lot cheaper than Forbidden Droplets. Forbidden Droplets is I mean, both cards have like their drawbacks here. So like Dark Lord No More, you know, it's not gonna let your opponent take any battle damage, so you can't OTK. That's kind of the drawback there, but you do negate the whole field. Forbidden Droplets requires you to like pitch cards to the graveyard, so that's kind of like where the drawback is on Forbidden Droplets. Like your Ancient Warrior monsters don't do anything in the graveyard. They're kind of useless there. So like, yeah, both cards have their drawbacks. You can easily play like Dark Hole if you wanted to, but yeah, I prefer Dark Hole No More. And if I can't OTK my opponent, or you know, you can't OTK your opponent, you just simply, you know, just set up for next turn. And this, like I said, this deck can set up like a decent amount of interruptions. Playing the 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, and then I switched up the ratios here. But I'm going to showcase you guys just what I have sleeved up anyways. You can play 3 Twin Twisters, 3 Cosmic Cyclone. Yeah, Lightning Storm is also another really good card if you can afford that, right? Play Lightning Storm. I can't afford the card just yet. The reprint also did not help me out too much. It's $50 a copy right now, but hopefully we get like another reprint here soon of Lightning Storm. But yeah, Three copies of one copy of Feather Duster, three Twin Twisters for the back row hate. But what I've done very recently is I've actually cut one of these cards out, the Twin Twister, Cosmic Cyclone, whatever it is you want to cut out. And rather than playing 2 Pod Desires, I'm playing 3 Pod Desires. I found that ratio to be a whole lot better. And I think I'm going to start playing it that way, right? Just so I'm going to play the 1 Feather Duster and 2 Cosmic Cyclone or 2 Twin Twisters plus 3 Pod Desires. Because sometimes drawing like 2 Twin Twisters or 2 Cosmics plus a Duster just really isn't that good. And there's not really that many back row heavy decks. Even though we have a couple of back row heavy decks in the meta, there's not too many of them. So yeah, I'm going to start playing that from here on forward, but I just didn't have the deck sleeved up like that. But yeah, so 3 Pod Desires, you know, 2 Cosmic Cyclone or Twin Twisters, and then the 1 Feather Duster. And Feather Duster did get that reprint too in the, was it the Obelisk and Slifer Structure deck? So yeah, this card's a lot more affordable than what it used to be, you know. And then we're playing 3 Imperm. You don't have to play Imperm, but this card is just really good. This is actually the only hand trap that we play in this deck, and the reason why is because a lot of the monster effect hand traps like kind of like conflict with your Lu Fang here. Right, Lu Fang has that like, you know, like that drawback where if you activate a monster effect, you can't activate other effects other than, or you can't activate his effect. And if you do activate his effect, then you can't activate any other monster effects except for Ancient Warrior. So yeah, Infinite Imperm just goes a lot more better with this deck. This card is like still somewhat pricey, but still a really good card. But if you can't play this card, once again, I understand. You can also play Book of Moon. That's also a really good card. And you can also play Forbidden Lance, another really good card, or Forbidden Chalice, right? Those are 2 really good. Honestly, those are really 2 good like cards that you can just swap out for Imperm. Like I said, since we don't play like, you know, a lot of hand traps, or we don't play any hand traps at all, I just think Imperm's a lot better of a card. But yeah, I understand if you can't afford it. Like honestly, I had to sell some cards just to get these 3 copies and do some trading. But yeah, honestly, this is it for my main deck. But like I said, I tried to keep it relatively budget. It is kind of pricey, I guess, but not too pricey. But other than that, though, I've given you guys like some reasonable cards you can just easily swap out for some of the more pricier cards. For our extra deck, 3 copies of the Ancient Warrior Double Dragon Lord. This card is just really good because you can bounce 1 card back to the hand. And then also, since we always like make this card, we leak summon him out properly, we always get that search effect as well. 2 copies of the Baron Blossom here. The 1 copy of Rugal, which I've never actually used. The 1 copy of Omen. You can play the other Link 3 card, the other tri-brigade Link 3 card. I have the card. I am playtesting it online, and what I do is like I side deck 2 copies of the tri-brigade Revolt, so in case I need to go first. That actually has come in kind of clutch sometimes as well. Just once again, like you gotta be real cautious with how you set up your board. Like if you got more Ancient Warrior monster effects that you can use, and maybe like Lu Fang might be a little bit better than bringing out Omen. You just kind of have to like, you know, like pick and choose what you want to use there. You want a copy of Valmirage and Link Rebo just so we can send some of our tri-brigade cards to the graveyard to get their effects to go off. 1 copy of Samorg in case we go first, right? We usually try to like bring out Stormwinds there. The 1 copy of Doom Eagle here because it's kind of like a DD Crow. Really good card if you're playing like Sky Strikers. You just banish one of their copies of banish one of their 1-ofs. IP Masquerena and Crusade Avermax. These 2 cards come in clutch when you're playing Ad Ignister. So like this, playing Ad Ignister at first I had like a really hard time trying to beat a 6k monster. Until I figured out that Avermax could do it for me. Like if I'm playing, you know, like something like that, I just go ahead and make like my double Dragon Lord here or Pharyngeat. Then if I have more cards, I make IP Masquerena, right? So like using IP, using double Dragon Lords on your opponent's turn, you know, Masquerena effect. Link out double Dragon Lord Masquerena for Crusade Avermax, and now you got like a really hard monster that your opponent can't get over. And when you're playing Ad Ignister, honestly, they have a really super hard time getting over Avermax. Like it's a lot of times they just end up scooping the game and going to like game 2 or 3. Yeah, that's one of the ways that I figured out how to beat the Ad Ignister deck there. The 1 copy of Appaloosa, Blow of the Goddess here, and then this is supposed to be my Baguska, but I honestly couldn't find the card, so here's my proxy for it. But yeah, either way, Abyss Dweller is also a really good card. But since you do play a lot of level 4 monsters, you can easily make rank 4 monsters super easily. So Abyss Dweller, Baguska. If you don't have a lot of cards and you're kind of like forced to go first, you can easily make like double Dragon Lord and then just sit on the Baguska until you get like more resources into your hand. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But other than that, like giving you guys like a little bit of options here what to play with. But anyways, guys, this has been it for my my Ancient Warrior deck here. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And I'm going to showcase you guys a couple of combos here. I'm going to do that over over Dueling Book. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and switch out my laptop here. I'm going to show you guys a couple of combos, so hopefully you stick around for that. So I couldn't find my Dueling Book replay, sorry about that, but I'm still going to showcase you guys 2 combos here with the actual cards. This is going to be a going second combo here for the first one. I showcase you guys how you can break your opponent's board when your opponent has like 4 to 5 monsters on field. Then I'm going to showcase you guys a going first combo here. So like, assuming that you open up, like, once again, this is a going second, so we got 6 cards in hand here. Now even if you had opened up Imperm and played it, you can still do this combo with just 5 cards anyways. But yeah, so 6 cards total, and you have to open up at least lose 1 and Lord Guan Yu. Keep in mind that that lose 1 can be searched by Fire Formation Tenki, and we do play 3 copies of that. And so if you're playing 2 copies of lose 1, that's 5 copies total, or if you're playing just 1, that's still 4 copies. So this is not like an impossible combo to come across. You actually come across this combo quite often. But yeah, so first things first is go ahead and special summon your Guan Yin because your opponent has more monsters than you do. And now your opponent cannot target Ancient Warrior monsters with card effects. Now you can go to normal summon your lose 1 here. Now if you want at this point, you can also just go and activate Guan Yu's effect to destroy one of your opponent's monsters, so you've gotten rid of one monster your opponent controls. And you can actually still activate lose 1's effect because your opponent still has 1 more monster than you do, so you can activate lose 1's effect. You can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Do special summon out your Sun Mu from deck. Sorry about that. Now you can activate Sun Mu's effect. You can send 1 other card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Like if we had Tenki there, we could send Tenki to the graveyard. So we can add our Lu Feng from our deck to our hand. And now using Lu Feng's effect, you can special summon out Lu Feng here. And so at this point, you can go and activate Lu Feng's effect here. You can pop 1 card your opponent controls with the highest attack. Masterful Sun Mu's effect will activate, allowing you to destroy 1 more card on the field. Now, if this isn't enough to OTK your opponent here, guys, there's still a lot more things you can do. Like I said, if your opponent still has like more problematic monsters on the field, or has 1 more monster that you want to go and clear out, like let's say you want to clear out that 4th monster here, you can go ahead and use Lose 1 and Sun Mu to link them off for your double Dragon Lords. And since you made this card properly, you can actually go and activate double Dragon Lords effect will trigger on summon and allow you to add your Zheng Day here. Now you can special summon your Zheng Day from hand because you control at least 2 Ancient Warrior monsters. Now you got 4 monsters on field. And then now at this point, you can go and activate double Dragon Lords by sending 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, our Feather Duster there. And then we can bounce this card back to the hand, and we successfully cleared out 4 cards or 4 monsters our opponent controls. And at this point, guys, you can easily OTK your opponent. Your Lu Feng here has 2800 attack, Zheng Day has 2700, Lord Guan Yu has 25. But keep in mind, all these monsters gain 500 attack from double Dragon Lords, including double Dragon Lords himself. This is like easily like 9,000 attack. You can OTK your opponent. Plus you cleared out 4 monsters from their field as well. So that's it for my combo number 1. I'm going to showcase you guys now my combo number 2 here. And I'm going to showcase you guys a going first combo here. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Got a lot of allergies this year. So with the combo number 1, you want to at least have open up at least 2 out of these 3 cards. Oh man, need some water here. Yeah, any one of these 3 cards, any 2 of these 3 cards, so this is like a 2.5 card combo video here. It's going to get you to like your pretty good unbreakable board here. Like, it's like if you open up like Fractal and Tenki searches out Sun Mu, or the other way around, you open up Tenki and Sun Mu, Tenki will search Fractal here, right? Either way though, this is the card you want to start this combo off with. So, if you open up with like Fractal and Tenki, just say you activate Tenki here. Normal summon your Sun Mu. Search your Sun Mu, and then normal summon it. Keep the Tenki in. Keep the Fractal in hand. Activate Sun Mu's effect, guys. You'll pitch Tenki to the graveyard to search an Ancient Warrior card. And you're going to search out your Lu Feng. Oh, sorry, I do forget. You do need 1 more other discard fodder, so you at least want to have like another, just any kind of a monster that you can send. In a second, I'll showcase you guys why, right? Yeah, you would send Tenki to the graveyard. Search out your Lu Feng and then special summon it out. So now you got Sun Mu and Lu Feng on the field. And at this point, like if your opponent interrupts you from this point on, keep in mind that you still have like 2 solid good disruptions on your field. Quick effect, you can pop 1 card your opponent controls, and then triggered effect, when you activate an Ancient Warrior effect, you can bounce 1 face-up monster back to their hand. So you still have 2 solid disruptions here with just 2 monsters. And at this point, guys, you can go ahead and activate your Fractal effect here. pitching it to the graveyard to send your Nerval to the graveyard to add your Karis here. And so now you would go and activate your Karis effect to special summon itself out by pitching one Winged Beast or one Beast Warrior card to the graveyard. Beast Warrior Beast or Winged Beast to the graveyard. Go ahead and send out Zukong here. Now you got 3 monsters in your graveyard, so you can go and activate Karis' effect. Then you go ahead and banish all 3 of these. So banish your Nerval, your Zukong, and your Fractal to special summon out your Samorg here. And so at this point, we've done this combo with just summoning out 4 monsters, so we're still under Nibiru. Then, of course, during the end phase, Samorg would go ahead and trigger its effect, allowing you to special summon out your barrier statue here from the deck itself or from your hand. So you played under Nibiru, and now your opponent has to go up against a, like a Windlock here. And you still got 2 solid interruptions. Keep in mind we did this all with just like 3 cards in hand. So you still have 2 other cards in hand. So like if you have like Imperm or just something like that, right? You got you have like Imperm or Twin Twisters. Those are other just interruptions as well. But other than that, though, this is still like a pretty decent board because a lot of decks do have a hard time getting past this. Because even if they normal summon a monster before they go into the battle phase, you can activate Lu Fang's effect just to pop that card. And if they have another monster, which they somehow got out, you can still bounce that card back to the hand. Now, if your opponent doesn't do anything just past this turn and you haven't activated Lu Fang's effect, you can easily just add another, or special summon another Ancient Warrior monster. I mean, another, was it Winged Beast monster from your deck to your battlefield? During the end phase, you can special summon out one Winged Beast monster. So you can easily bring out another card from your deck as well. If you play like the Apex Avian, another card you can bring out. But other than that, though, this has been it for my deck profile here. Yeah, this deck's super fun to play with. Like I said, it can go first or go second. I'm going to showcase you guys a more going first variant of the deck here later on. I hope you guys have enjoyed this combo video / profile video. If you don't have these cards, like I said, they're really cheap. And if you already have the tri-brigade cards, you don't have to spend too much money now to get these cards. Super cheap deck, super fun deck, can easily LTK, quite often. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like what you saw today, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, it's just going to give me that motivation to continue making content for you guys to enjoy. And if you have any comments, just leave it all down below for me. If you play your deck a little bit differently, or maybe I misplayed here, just let me know all down below. But anyways, thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.